Welcome to our first Roast the Job Post. I'm Andrea Hoffer, in case you have not been following me. I talk a lot about how job posts can make or break a search for employers. It's really where you start to sell your job to the right candidates. So we thought this week we would do a series called Roast the Job Post. It is free to people who want to submit their job posts to me. So easy. Just DM me here, or you can email me at my email address that I will put in the post below. We can do it anonymously, like we're going to be doing this one. We take out as much as we can that could potentially point back to the employer. Or if you don't want it anonymous, we are happy to share your post to our over 15,000 followers throughout our social media. A lot of them are job seekers in all different industries and geographic areas throughout the United States. So let's get to it. We have our first candidate for Roast the Job Post. I'm going to share my screen. Now, this here is the job post that we received. So it's for a client specialist role. You can see that, but I did take out a lot of the identifying information because this employer asked for us to do this anonymously. As you can see, they start with "we're hiring" and then put the title. I don't know if they were including that line, if they put this on job boards, but you're really wasting space here for a role that could attract people. So, for example, if you're putting this, say, on LinkedIn or Indeed, and somebody does a search, or even if it's on your website and they do a search, the first thing they're going to see is the "we're hiring" and not something unique that's going to really engage and pull them in. So our first roast here is to get rid of that part, and it also the location and employment type. The hope is, depending upon where you're sharing this, you have that automatically coming up on the job board or on your site. And probably later this week, we'll show you some ways you can make this more visually appealing as well. You can see it's fairly short, which is good. A lot of people will recommend that you keep your job post short. I kind of go against that a little bit. Once you see what we feel the improved job post is, we're all about giving the correct information in an easy, formatted way, and not so worried about length. So I'll show you that in a little bit. You can see it just very plainly says who they're looking for. We're looking for a detail-oriented and proactive client specialist. So it tells me a little bit right off the bat, and to join a dynamic team. It's still kind of general to me. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You can see then it just goes right into key responsibilities, which those words, yeah, key responsibilities, just kind of, it's old school even. It tells me more, it's like an internal job description than a job post, which we look at a job post as being a marketing piece and not your internal job description. And then it talks very plainly about qualifications needed, nothing that really excites me. And then, I mean, even the close goes to, if you're someone who is self-motivated, results-driven, and passionate. Okay, that's not bad, but it's still a little general. About delivering excellent service. Well, we see that a lot. It's not specific to the mission of the company. We'd love to have you on board. Well, great. What's my next step? I have to actually write a cover letter and upload a resume and send it to an email. Well, Matt, you kind of lost me there. I got to be really motivated to do those extra steps. I want to just be able to click a button. Maybe this is on LinkedIn and I just upload my profile or it connects my profile and I'm done. I'm all about making it easy in that first step. I'm not saying don't ask candidates as they go through the process to do other steps. I think you should. But that first step, when they're seeing your job post, probably on their phone, maybe it's on social media, a job board, maybe somebody sent it to them. You don't want it to get lost, whether it's in your email or on the web. You want them to do that first step right away so you've captured their information and now you can follow up with them for what's next. So here's where we're roasting. Well, I've already started roasting. Again, you can see it's a very gentle roast. So if you are interested in having your job post participate in this roast, the job post, please DM me or email me information in the content below. I'm not going to pick you apart. I'm just going to give you creative and constructive feedback. I will also send you the more polished job post afterwards with all the information filled in if we stripped it to make it anonymous. Okay, so we already said for formatting changes, we would remove the "we're hiring" title and we would replace it with 4 to 6, usually engaging questions that sort of summarize what you're looking for. And we'll show you what we did here in a minute, but really bring the person in. You want them to be saying either, yes, that's me. I'm interested, I want to read more, or no, that's not me, and let them move on. You just save both of you a lot of time. Okay, we also said that we added a who we are section. You know, what are you all about? What's your story? Um, who is your founder? You know, what is this company about? What am I joining? What is your mission? And we changed the ideal candidate profile to "you are who we are looking for if." And then we have a bunch of "you" statements. We have the whole posting to be very focused on "you are you? Is this the right fit for you? Do you show up this way? Do you feel comfortable in how we're describing what we're looking for? So again, we added the founder's story. We included specific metrics that are very engaging to people, to good candidates. If they're not just coming for what was this role, a customer specialist role, they want to know, what is this all about? What kind of experience am I getting? What makes this different than every other customer specialist role? So these are just a few you'll see throughout the posting. We may or may not have included it in what we're going to share down below in case it may have been stripped for anonymity. And then again, we added company information in a more compelling way of what they're all about. We always add a core values section. These are your core values, but they're not just listed. Here is a very brief, summarized version of their core values, but we typically want to bring that out of the founder, the CEO, the team. How do these core values show up on a daily basis? Give them more behavioral statements. So they understand what these look like at your organization. And as brief as possible, but still giving them a good feel, you put that in the job posting. We enhanced the responsibilities a bit. We made them more action-oriented and included, again, more specific context. I don't think I put this below, but they talk a lot about interacting with 200 plus suppliers. That could be very attractive to the right person. It's an amazing experience. There's relationship building aspects to this, which you often find in client specialist roles, but they wanted to make sure that was clear. And then here's something I often see left out of job postings, and it was left out at least as a very structured, focused, make it easy for me to see way, and that's what do I need to accomplish to be successful in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however you want to put it. How do I know if I'm meeting and exceeding expectations? I want to know that before I even apply for the role. So whatever we were able in a brief period to pull from their website, from them, from the client, not the employer themselves, we added to the job posting. If as specific as possible you can get here, the better. So you can see some of these KPIs that we added here. And we talked about specific skills. And we also enhanced the benefits by adding culture statements, things that like meaningful, how you're going to be making a meaningful impact. Now, some of that is stripped here because in order to keep the anonymity, we had to um, takes some of the more specific parts of this out, but we do have a couple of benefits here that we listed about meaningful impact and stable leadership. People want to know. I can't tell you how often over the years I've spoken to candidates, and one of the first questions is, I just want to know that, the leadership isn't going to turn over, in a couple of months and then I'm out again, or I still have a job, but the culture is completely different and it's just not the right fit for me. It's a very important aspect. And if you have it, call it out. Um, a lot of companies will talk about family first. We gave some specific examples because for this organization, they have specific examples they can share, and some recognition that the founder and CEO has received, really digging a little bit deeper into the founder story or where you can find that. And of course, we added growth opportunities, but a strengthened call to action. Just like I said earlier, just had them do it now. We added an apply now. We connected it more to their mission and vision instead of just saying, we'd love to hear from you. We said why we'd love to hear from you. So you're ready for us to show you what we did? Here's the after. We started with the engaging questions. Do you thrive when solving financial puzzles that directly impact, we did strip some info, livelihoods? So these are specific types of livelihoods. This calls you right in, okay? You've already seen the title that it's client specialist, but this talks much more to what it is and what it's about, especially when you don't have the stars in there, when you have the specific information. I'm not going to read all the questions, but you see what we did there. Then the next section is who we are. I want to know who I'm going to be working with. Do I care about who they are and what their mission is? So we, founded by, we manage over, do some, just a couple of sentences. I mean, it can be like 3, 4 sentences here that are very compelling about who you are. We believe is the core values section. We usually have more content here. We're putting your core values, and again, we're giving behavioral statements. How do these core values show up? What you will do. So instead of just responsibilities, this is what you're going to be doing every day. This is what your day will look like. Are you okay with that? Does this sound good to you? Does this make you feel like you want to get up every morning and come to work? what you will accomplish. This is where we put the KPIs. And of course, you are who we are looking for if you are a detail-oriented professionals who understands that behind every, and here's where we stripped out some of that customized information, but you want to make sure it's in there, not just detail-oriented professional, but the reason behind, why being detail-oriented is so important for this role. And then you can see we put some other bullet points there. And then usually we'll have a couple of basic requirements. These are your minimum requirements you're looking for this role. And of course, why you'll love working with us. Here's our meaningful impact statement. You're making a meaningful impact. There's stable leadership. There's growth opportunities. There's a flexible work environment. This one happens to be remote and it can be full-time or part-time. The family-oriented culture where family truly comes first. And of course, your competitive compensation, assuming it is competitive, make sure that you know where your, comp is as far as the market goes, but actually give a range. Don't just say competitive compensation. That's going to turn people off. Put what the range is. Why waste people's time? First of all, in some states, you're required to. And this one, you can be anywhere in the United States, so it's important to be following those rules. But it's just the best practice. This way, either way, we're not wasting each other's time. We could be completely far apart and fall in love with each other and then find on the basic level we can't come together. And now we've wasted everybody's time. And then, I shouldn't have included that. Ready to join our management team. If you're excited about combining your analytical skills with meaningful client service, okay, we've called out the overall thing we're looking for. Because keep in mind, people are not going to read your job posting, at least at this point, all the way through. More than 80% of candidates who apply are not even going to read it all the way through right away. The hope is, though, they will if they're very interested, and of course, if you ask them for an interview. But we also call out what this directly impacts. We stripped that out, but we had that in. Apply now. Hit the apply button. That's all you need to do. A couple of clicks. We're looking forward to discovering how you can help us continue our mission of, and you're done. Now, I get it. It's long, but most people will go to the section that's most important to them. If you can keep these points a little bit shorter, great. But I would make sure that you have each section that's here, because then you are speaking, you're answering all the questions people are looking for. So this is our first Roast the Job post. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you learn anything? Are you interested in submitting yours and getting a nice new polished job post that could really make a huge impact on your results in getting great candidates? Thank you.